Hello, hello, hello. Top of the morning, evening, afternoon, and good night to one and all. It is, let me find my stream here. Here we go. It is Saturday, March 1st. How is everybody feeling today? We have an interesting stream ahead of us. We have a very interesting stream. Thank you all for the donations right off the jump. So, of course, we are dual streaming here just because it's going to be a big one, right? I kind of bit my tongue all yesterday. Thank you so much for all the donations. I kind of bit my tongue as to how I felt about all this yesterday when I first saw it. And then I was like, I have to cover this right now. And I was going to do it last night, but I'm going to do it today. So, lots of donations. Jiminy Cricket, thank you all so much. Thank you, Antonis. Thank you, Tony. Monkey. David. Jorn. Just everybody dropping it. Well, not everybody. 5 people. I do apologize. I thought it was much more than that. But thank you all for that. It's nice to feel appreciated. I think it's just bugging now. It's just doing the same name. No, I think that's good. Okay, that's good. All right. So, yeah, Zelensky went over to... Okay, I don't know. I don't even know why that's showing $100. Yeah, that's broken. So, anyway, let's get on with it. I saw this video, and I was like, ooh, buddy. Let's jump right into it. And I'm going to give you my reaction. Now, this video is 49 minutes long. I am not going to do that. I'm not. We're just going to start from the middle and go from there. What I want to point out, though, is we did this the other day on Outside of Society, and Maddie had mentioned that it's interesting when you see this guy because he never wears a suit, right? Never. I don't know why. I feel like he gets his hair cut every single day, but he never wears a suit. And to me, if you're going to go meet the President of the United States, I feel like you should wear a suit. And it's interesting. I'm not going to take a side, Ukraine versus Russia, but I do want to say this, that if you were to ask anybody last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when this whole thing started, people would say, oh, you know, you can't pick a side. Social media is like, you can't pick a side. But it's interesting how the roles have flipped now, and now Ukraine is the bad guy, and Russia, not that Russia's the good guy, it's just that we're making Ukraine look bad, so it's kind of invalidating the war. And I saw something about Harris saying that when Trump comes in, he's going to take the side of Russia, and then he's going to go fight against Ukraine. And that being said, I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but let's just play this. And I want to point out how unprofessional he looks. Like he's got a little polo on with a weird logo of sorts. It's probably his own merch. And this shit gets heated, bro.
About 300 billions. We can use them. We can use for innovation and buy military support from the United States also. We can do it, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
Under these circumstances, do you envision a trilateral summit with Putin and President Zelensky?
Wait 1 second.
I asked this question that you didn't like because I wanted to know if you want to position yourself in the middle.
Let me just pause this again. What is up with his clothes? Like, my man is wearing slacks and a long sleeve shirt. You are sitting in the... If you went to go see a president, I just can't get over this. It's one thing to like walk around your state like that or your country. That's one thing. I'll give you that. Fine. You do what you want to do. If the people love it, the people love it. Why do you do it? Like, why do you go to other countries, sit down with their presidents, and this is what you wear? I feel like that's his logo, because I don't know what that is.
Between Russia and Ukraine, or on the Ukraine's...
No, I'm in the middle. I want to solve this thing. I'm for both. I want to get it solved. And it's wonderful to speak badly about somebody else, but I want to get it solved. If we can solve it, great. If we can't solve it, they're going to have to fight it out, and who knows what's going to happen. But I want to see it get solved.
May I follow up? One more question about U.S. troops in Europe. After Russian invasion of Ukraine, your predecessor sent additional troops to Eastern Europe, including Poland, my country.
Yeah.
Are you committed to keeping these troops on the eastern flank of NATO in the future?
I'm very committed to Poland. I think Poland is.
Yeah, I heard about this. I heard Poland is taking a side with Ukraine, and Poland is ready to go to war. I guess that's another stream for another day.
Has really stepped up and done a great job for NATO. They, as you know, they paid more than they had to. They are one of the finest groups of people I've ever known. I'm very committed to Poland.
What about Baltics?
Poland's in a tough neighborhood, you know.
What about the Baltics?
The Baltics, they got a lot of. It's a tough neighborhood too, but we're committed. We're going to be very committed, and we're committed to NATO. But NATO has to step up, and the Europeans have to step up more than they have. And I want to see them equalize, because they are in for far less than we're in, and they should be at least equal. You understand that? Why is the United States, we have an ocean in between. Why?
Go, Trump. Go. See, this is the side of the Trump that I like right here. Go. Talking about military, here we go.
Is the United States in for so much more money and other things as Europe? With that being said, and as you said, they've also been obviously very helpful. But we have put in far more than they have. And I think they should equalize.
Mr. President,
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Ask you about the agreement again today. What changed between the first time that Secretary Bessent gave President Zelensky the agreement and today for the signing?
We made a deal. So
What was the
I'm just-
deciding factor?
I'm a business person. We made a deal. That's what changed.
Mr. President,
I didn't think we were going to make a deal. And we ended up making the deal, so that changed.
Mr. President, what and how do you envision a trilateral summit with President Zelensky and Putin?
I don't know,
under
but
these
well, they
circumstances?
don't like each other. I can tell you that. Okay? They do not like each other. This is not a love match, and it's unfortunate. That's why you're in this situation. The United States should not have allowed this to happen. Okay? The United States, run by a man that didn't know much. I'm going to be very nice. Run by an incompetent person, very incompetent person, should never have allowed this to happen. I've stopped wars. I've stopped many wars. My people will tell you, I stopped wars that nobody ever heard about. I stopped wars before they ever started. You can look at.
I don't know why he does that. Like, I don't know what that is. I honestly, I have no idea what that is. What has that got to do with anything right now? Like, who gives a shit if you stop wars? Bush stopped wars. Clinton stopped wars. I think almost every Biden didn't stop wars. He stopped walking, but I don't understand why that is so important. It is totally irrelevant to anything.
Some of, I could give you a lot of nations that would tell you right now they were probably going to war. I could tell you right now there's a nation thinking about going to war on something that nobody in this room has ever even heard about. Two smaller nations, but big, still big.
Which one?
And I think I've stopped it. But this should have never happened.
Two small nations. They're small nations, but they're big. Which one? Which one? It's like ordering a coffee from Starbucks. You want a small one? No, I want a tall one. No. Okay, a small is a tall. No, it's not.
Sorry, just a second. About any negotiations. First of all, I want really to tell you, and I think that everybody understands that Ukraine, more than Ukrainians, nobody wants to stop this war. But at the future, any negotiations, it's understandable that two sides of the war, not Russia and the United States, because this is not the war between Russia and the United States. This is war of Russia against Ukraine and Ukrainian people. So these two sides will be at the will be at the negotiation table. Then of course United States, like the strongest partner of the Ukraine, and of course Europe. I think Europe is very important. I want to speak about it with the president.
If you think Europe is very important, why don't you join NATO? If it's so important. Right? Why don't you join the European Union? Okay.
Yes, Europe is very important for us because we really defend Europe for today. All Europeans really recognize that we are defending line and they have real life and our people are dying. That's why they helped us. And also it's about the need. Yes, between, like the president said, you have big, nice ocean. Yes, between us. But if we will not stay, Russia will go further to Baltics and to Poland, by the way. But first to the Baltics. It's understandable for them because they've been in the USSR. You know, they've been one of the republics of the USSR, and Putin wants to bring them back to his empire. It's a fact. And when he will go there, if we will not stay, you will fight. Your American soldiers. It doesn't matter. Do you have ocean or not?
Why do we have to fight your fucking war? What? Why do we have to fight your war? Why? Russia is not going to come to America. Okay, they have Alaska up there. If they really want to come to America, I mean, you could just take a canoe. Okay, you could take like a dinghy. It's going to be a little rough waters. But you'll get there. Okay, you start attacking Alaska. Russia doesn't want America. Oh, well, I'm sure they want it, but they're not going to come get it. That's not me being cocky. That's not me being an American. That's me with my prior military intelligence telling you that they're not coming to America. Okay, it's just not going to happen. China? I don't know. Russia? Absolutely not. So don't. This is why I start to lose my shit right here. I haven't seen any of this. I've only seen the argument part, which is coming up.
Our soldiers will fight.
Mr. President, would you be willing to visit Ukraine, maybe Kyiv or Odessa, which is known to be a dirty area with Black Sea?
It was my question.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to talk about Odessa now. Let's not talk about Odessa. I want to talk about making a deal, getting peace. We don't have to talk about Odessa.
He doesn't want to go to Ukraine because, well, that's just going to piss off Putin.
But a lot of
Just don't say that. Don't say that on TV. Don't do that.
cities have been destroyed. A lot of cities that are not recognizable. There's not a building standing.
No.
And a lot of
You have to come,
things.
Mr. President. You have to come and to look. No. We have very good cities. Yes, a lot of things have been destroyed, but mostly cities alive, and people work, and children go to school. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes closer to front line, children have to go to underground schools or online, but we live. Ukraine is fighting and Ukraine lives. This is very important. And maybe it's Putin is sharing this information that he destroyed us. No, he lost 700,000 people, 700,000 soldiers. He lost everything. Yes.
This is tough, man, because I know that Trump likes Putin over Zelensky, right? You got to be careful. First off, this is a fragile subject, even for the news, because you really have to pick a side. You can't stay in the middle. And I think that's what United States is doing right now. We're staying in the middle. And you're not going to want to do that for too long. You're going to eventually have to say, I'm with this guy or I'm with that guy. That's how that's going to go down.
Sure.
Mr. President, one more. I mentioned Poland.
Please, go ahead.
When did you last speak with President Putin, and what did he say that?
A couple of days ago.
And what did he tell you that gave you the assurance that he wanted peace?
Well, that's what I do. My whole life is deals. I know pretty good. And I've known him for a long time. I've dealt with him for a long time. He had to suffer through the Russia hoax. You know, Russia was a hoax. It was all Biden. It was nothing to do with him. So he had to suffer through that, and he was able to do that. I think that he wants to make a deal, and he'd like to see it end. That's all I do. That's what I do. My whole life, that's what I do, is make deals. And I'm in the middle of a mess because this...
That you are, kind sir. That you are. But I think the question is who got us in that mess? Right? Who got us in it?
This is a real mess. It's a very dangerous one. If this doesn't get solved now, it's not going to get solved for a long time. So I hope we're going to get it solved. In the back, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Prime Minister Starmer claimed repeatedly that his government believes in free speech and was not engaged in censorship. But his country's government arrests people for memes and thought crimes, and even more worrisome is pressuring American companies to...
Notice Zelensky never looks at Trump in his eyes. There's a lot to be said about that. I'm going to let this keep going, but I guess I'll put that in a closing statement.
To censor Americans on his behalf. How can he be a reliable, trustworthy partner when he says things that are demonstrably false on such an important topic?
Well, we actually spoke to him about that yesterday, and we thought they took it very, very much too far. JD was very strong on it. So was I. So was Marco. And we've been speaking to him about it. Marco, would you like to say something about that?
We have concerns, obviously, with the conduct of those, particularly as it impacts Americans. And there's real concerns.
I have concerns with your ear. It's taken up 75% of the left side of your head. I have concerns with that. I don't know how you can't get a better shot of him. That's the shot we're going to go with. I could see his inner ear canal. This is not a good shot. That's not a good haircut either. Put something over it. Grow a mullet like Joe Dirt. Do something. Get that covered up. Okay, you're going to trip on that one day. Let's move on.
Concern that American speech, which is online, could fall into the hands of British or any country's jurisdiction. And so this is a point the Vice President made at Munich, and I think it's a very compelling one, that what unites us with Europe, as much as anything else, is these shared values, and one of them being free speech. And so if Americans are...
I don't hear a word he is saying. I know I should be with those earlobes, but I can't. I think he's hearing for me. Like, I feel like I just went deaf. I didn't get anything he just said. I just can't. I got to look away when he talks so I can understand what he is saying, because that ear is distracting. It's like a hazard cone just right in the middle of the video. Error. Reclick.
We have concerns, obviously, with the conduct of those, particularly as it impacts Americans. And there's real concern that American speech, which is online, could fall into the hands of British or any country's jurisdiction. And so this is a point the Vice President made at Munich, and I think it's a very compelling one, that what unites us with Europe, as much as anything else, is these shared values, and one of them being free speech. And so if Americans are threatened by it, we're going to need to take action in that regard.
Mr. President.
Whew, get rid of that ear. I'm sorry. Did anybody get what he said? All right, good, because I don't think it's important. We're just going to move on.
Look, it's actually a very important question.
We spoke about this in detail with the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and others at lunch yesterday. And I know that Secretary of Commerce Lutnick followed up in private meetings last night. This is really important. We believe Americans have the right to speak their mind, even if we in this room disagree with them. They have the right to speak their mind in the public square, which is often online these days. And we're going to defend that right as it pertains to American companies and American citizens vigorously if we have to. I do think that under the President's leadership, we're going to find common ground with our friends in.
There's going to be no common ground, I can tell you that much. Nope, there's going to be no common ground. What's going to happen is Ukraine's going to lose. Like that's what's going to happen. Okay, I got to be careful about what I say, because at platforms they want me to be very specific as to what I say in regards to this. So I'm treading very careful. That's why a lot of this reaction stuff is I'm picking and choosing what I'm going after, like that old boy's ear. Ukraine is not. They're not going to come out of this. That's all I'm saying.
In the UK on this question, but it remains to be seen. The principle that will guide us is we believe in free speech in this country, and we'll fight for it for American citizens.
Mr. President, on the deal, is there any other oil and gas component to the deal? Is it all critical?
A little bit. We'll see.
On LNG?
But we're not really looking for that so much. We got a lot. We have more than anybody in the world, by far. So, no, we're not talking about it too.
No, we don't. No, we don't. That's an accurate statement. That's inaccurate.
Much, but a little bit. I think it affects also, but for the most part, no.
And sir, is there any?
Watch Zelensky. He never looks like, if he looks at Trump, I'll look at his chin or his shirt or the top of his head. He never looks him in his eyes. That bothers me so much. So much. You are sitting next to me with your little sweater on and your buttons, and you're not in your little merchandise logo, whatever brand that is, and you're not going to look at me in my eyes at all. Dude, I would call him out on news, on TV. Yes, absolutely. But Trump, I don't think really cares, because Trump's always looking at everything but you. I mean, he looks at you, but he'll also look at the wall and the vase next to you.
The agreement from Ukraine to purchase U.S. LNG as part of the deal, or is that on the table at all?
No, we don't need that.
Some of those
Mr. President, I
minerals
just
are in
wanted
the
to ask
east,
you
Mr.
about,
President.
you just mentioned that you'd spoken to Vladimir Putin a couple of days ago. Just to be clear, that's a new call, not the one that you...
I've spoken to him on numerous occasions.
Okay. And how was the latest call? What did you discuss? How did it go?
Are you serious with that question?
I am. I'd love to know.
It went well. I think we're going to have a deal.
On the minerals deal, Mr. President, some of those minerals are in the east of Ukraine, not far from the front lines and in areas that Russia has
Very good
occupied.
question. Thank you
Will
so
you
much.
direct President Putin to withdraw his forces from those areas if there's U.S. interest?
Well,
there?
we'll take a look at the time. We have a lot of areas.
Look at him shaking his head. Yes, they're not. First off, Mr. Ukraine guy with your little tight sweater on, that's not your question. One, when they're saying Mr. President, they're speaking to Donald Trump. They're not speaking to you. I don't know what they call you. They might call you Mr. President, but that question is not directed towards you. So don't shake your head yes, because you're fighting for that because that's money that you're able to essentially make, right? And if Russia takes that over, and then obviously you can't make money there. So yeah, we get it that you're fighting for that because that's your country, right? Okay, so stop shaking your stop shaking your head like you know the answer to the question that Trump is answering.
It's a very big area we're talking about, so we'll take a look. I'll study that and I'll see.
And who would protect those minerals if they are U.S. interests? Would that be Ukrainian
They'll
forces?
be protected. The
European
agreement
forces?
will protect them.
U.S.
The
forces?
agreement, yeah, we're signing an agreement. You know?
Right, but what if Russia tries to invade or there's Russian aggression in those spots?
I just told you, I don't think that's going to happen. And if that were going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal. If I thought that was going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal.
Some people may wonder why.
You know, they ought to focus on CNN on survival, not asking me these ridiculous questions. Focus on surviving, because CNN's got such low ratings, I don't think they're going to survive. Let's go. Please, go ahead.
Since I already mentioned Poland. Poland was under Russian control for decades after the Second World War. When I was a kid, I looked at the United States not only as a most powerful country, richest country in the world, the country that has great music, great movies, great muscle cars, but also as a force for good. And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Wow, that's a good question. That's a good question. That's really good.
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the
He can't sit still either. Like, do you see him?
other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough.
Oh, there, he's looking at him, but he's looking at his chin or his mouth. You see it? Watch his eyes, bro.
But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I would respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words matter.
I don't want to interrupt him. I just want to say he should be our president. That's all I'm saying. Let's just move on.
Path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you,
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied it, our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was,
he killed,
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly
but-
right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president in 2019.
What did you want us to do in 2014? You want us to come help you then. So what happened to just good old-fashioned wars, right? Like what happened? Where I'm going to attack this country, I'm going to get this country, and I win and I get this. So immediately you get into an argument. You're not part of NATO, right? Yeah, I'm sure there's some types of agreements and under-the-table hush money shit going on. But you really, you don't want protection because you think that you don't need protection. You got it. But clearly you do. So, okay.
Signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
Okay, see that right there? That right there is where I would step in as the president. What does that mean? Like, what do you mean we'll feel it in the future? Are you talking about economically wise, or are you talking, because to me, I take that as a threat. Like, I'm going to see it in the future. What do you mean? How?
But you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
Playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards. You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's back to you, far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in...
No, actually, he hasn't done a lot of talking, Trump. He's done very little talking. Okay, I have so many comments on this.
This country
I'm
that's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you
your
far
country.
more...
This is what happened, because when he said you will feel it, you set them both off, right? It would have been really hard for me not to get loud if I was in either of those positions. But because you said that, you already lit that fuse, right? So now it's about to blow up. How do you defuse it? I don't know. Get up, walk out, go light a cigarette, do something. Maybe take your shirt off and there's a suit underneath. Do something to distract, because now there's nothing that you could say aside from I apologize and not like interrupt Trump and say, listen, wait, listen. I apologize for what I said. Let me just be clear. I was not thinking clearly when I said that. Like, that's it. And you just nip that in the bud. But that's a bad look.
More than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States
what
of
are you speaking
America
about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country is
Can I-
in big
can-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn
We-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank-
$350 billion.
You
we
voted
gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about we are
If
speaking?
you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
Yo, he just pushed him. Yo, give him gloves. Like, let him fight. Let him, because I'll tell you right now, Zelensky looks like he could throw hands. I'm just saying. I say let him fight. Let him get dirty. Let's just see who wins, right? Let's not take everything off the table.
Staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank-
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about we are
If
speaking?
you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running low
I know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't, please,
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
Stop saying nothing. Just stop saying cards. Say nothing. You have nothing. Just that. Stop saying cards. No one's playing cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
Not from a president, right? Like you want to. What? This okay? It's yeah. It's a good question. Like what? What? I can't.
I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was...
Look at Zelensky's eyes. Like, just look at him real quick. Just watch his face and watch his eyes. Is he trying to figure out what Trump is saying? Or I'm starting to think like he has some type of mental disorder of some type. I don't know. ADD? I don't know. He's got something.
And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it.
I'm telling you right now, if America says I'm done, I'm not saying that other countries won't help out Ukraine, but you will watch Russia steamroll over Ukraine. It will be over. I give them 40. Well, I don't know, because you would have thought in the beginning when they went through, it would have been done. Like, it wasn't, though.
It out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think?
What's this negotiation?
This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right. We'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thanks, sir. I know this is
And I need the back of this.
We'll see. I don't know.
All right, guys, come on. Wait, hey, guys, come on, let's move, please.
There was another one. Hold on. There is... There was one more I wanted to show you. Yeah. Yeah.
Report, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Mr. President, thank you for the time today, especially on this day, to continue to do this interview. President Trump said after your meeting that you disrespected him and the vice president and all of America in the Oval Office. Do you think you did? And do you think you owe an apology to President Trump?
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the invitation for this dialogue, and good evening to all your country, to all Americans. I'm very thankful to Americans for all your support. You did a lot. I'm thankful to President Trump and to Congress bipartisan support. And I was always very thankful from all our people. You helped us a lot from the very beginning during 3 years of full-scale invasion. You helped us to survive. Anyway, we are strategic partners. And even in such tough dialogue, and I think we have to be very honest. And we have to be very direct to understand each other, because it's very, for us, very necessary to President Trump. And I'm with all respect that he wants to finish this war, but nobody wants to finish more than we, because we in Ukraine, we are in.
Right, but there's stipulations. You don't want the war to just be over. The problem is that Putin wants a part of your land that you're not willing to give him, which is essentially the border, right? The border +3, whatever it is, border +8. You don't want to give it to him. You want to keep fighting, so the war's not going to end, right? If it does, I get this, and that's the end of that.
This war, we are in this battle, battle for freedom for our lives. So I'm just telling that I think that we have to be on the same side, and I hope that the president on our side together with us, and that is very important to stop Putin. And I heard from President Trump a lot of times that he will stop the war, and I hope he will, and we need to pressure him with Europe, with all the partners. And I think this dialogue had to be a little bit earlier to understand where we are. Like, you know, I don't remember exactly, but like President Reagan said, that peace is not just an absent the war. Yes, we're speaking about just and lasting peace, about freedom, about justice, about human rights. And that's why I said that I think so, that ceasefire, and you know Putin, he broken 25 times ceasefire during all these years, 10 years.
So I'm not hearing from you, Mr. President, a thought that you owe the president an apology.
No, I respect President, and I respect American people. And if, I don't know, if I think that we have to be very open and very honest. And I'm not sure that we did something bad. I think maybe sometimes some things we have to discuss out.
I don't know if he's understanding the question, honestly. Like, you know, one could argue and say that he's avoiding apologizing, but I don't know if he's understanding the question. Right? Like, maybe the question should be in a more basic form. Right now on TV, you have the option to apologize to Trump. And then that's it. Like, don't say, will you apologize? Just, if you could say one thing to Trump right now, throw him a bone. You know, like, if you could throw one thing out there for Trump to see right now, if he watches this, which he will because this is Fox, what would you say? You know, now is the time. Because I'm sure he said what he had to say before he left the White House, but still.
Out of media, with all respect to democracy and to a free media, but there are things where we have to understand the position of Ukraine and Ukrainians, and I think that is the most important thing. Yes, we are partners. You know, we are very close partners. We have to be fair. We have to be very free.
I'm told that you were told multiple times from lawmakers on Capitol Hill and the White House to make today about the minerals deal and the economic deal, and then get it signed and let negotiations play out over security guarantees step by step. Is that true?
I said that we have to sign this document, and we are ready for this. And this will be the first step to security guarantees, but it's not enough. I think so. Maybe I don't know something. I don't know some details. That's why I wanted to share it with the president, my thoughts, and to hear him again, because he has a plan how to stop Putin. And maybe, as I said, maybe it's out of big conversations, but we have to share it. You know, this is so sensitive just a ceasefire without security guarantees. This is so sensitive for our people. I'm speaking like a president of a people who are in this struggle 3 years, and they just want to hear that America on our side and that America will stay with us, not with Russians, with us. That's it. But I'm sure that
the problem with us staying with Russia over Ukraine is, I think the better question is, which one is more valuable to us, right? Because we know Trump's all about value. Well, he's not about value, he's about making money, not saving money. But which one's more valuable? And I can't answer that question because of what I am limited to say. It's just
that it will be. This is the first step to security guarantees. Europeans, we don't need to lose them. They are good allies for the United States. The United States is the most or the biggest donator of support and of peace. But we don't need to lose Europe, and they also want to know next steps. We have to be very open to understand how to stop the war.
Right. But do you think the public spat in the Oval Office in front of the media served Ukrainians well today?
I think this kind of spat is I mean, this this is not good for both sides anyway, and I very open, but I can't change our Ukrainian attitude to Russia, and I don't want they kill us for us. This is very, very clear that Americans are the best of our friends, Europeans are the best of our friends, and Putin with Russian, their enemies. And it doesn't mean that we don't want peace. We just want to recognize the reality, the real situation.
President Trump is convinced that you will never sign a deal with Vladimir Putin. Is he right?
No, I think so. What I think, Ukraine wants peace, and we will have anyway diplomacy. We will have negotiations. I only said that I think so. It's about just and lasting peace. It means that we have to be very strong at the table of negotiations, and at these negotiations, Ukraine and Russia, like sides of this war, have to be, and the United States and Europe. That's what I said. So we are ready for peace, but we have to be in strong position. What does it mean? Just to know that our army is strong, that our partners with us, and that we have security guarantees. Am I not right?
Leaving the White House today, President Trump said this.
He's looking to go on and fight. He wants to come back right now, but I can't do that.
What do you make of that? Do you want to continue fighting? Do you want peace? And if he had the opportunity to go back to the White House right now, would you do it?
No. First of all, we want peace. That's why I'm in the...
The problem is he only wants peace on his terms, right? Like that's all that he cares about. It's just, it doesn't matter. So it stop Russia right now where we're at and give us everything back that essentially was ours to begin with, right? That's where we're at right now. There is no, that's what he wants. He has made that very clear. And the ceasefire he wants to stop, obviously, or wants it to go. And he does bring a valid point that the original ceasefire was, okay, it was broken. And I get that argument, I do. But Trump wasn't in office at that point. And I think the better question is that he should have brought up, but he didn't really have much of an option to speak because he was, from all sides, which I am going to side with America there because of the comment you made that just set everybody off. But that being said, it can't be on your terms only. It can't be. If you want America to help, obviously America is not going to make Russia the enemy. And worried about whether or not Ukraine is our enemy, honestly, I don't think Trump gives a shit. I don't think he cares. I think he just wants it to end because he just wants it to be over so he can put that on his portfolio. That's where I'm at with Trump.
United States. That's why I visited President Trump. And thanks for the invitation again. The deal on minerals is the first step to security guarantees. It's meant for the peace, closer to peace. That's why I'm here. And we have tough situation. To understand it is to be in Ukraine. You saw it, Brad. You was once. Thank you again. So I think that's very important to understand what's going on. But I respect my soldiers,
and our people, our civilians who work and support our warriors. I can't say just stop. Nobody will stop because everybody afraid that Putin will come back tomorrow. We want just and lasting peace. It's true. We want security guarantees. We raise this topic about NATO.
What would you do if none of these countries helped you? What would Ukraine, where would Ukraine be right now if no countries actually stepped in to help? Where would they be? I mean, I will say this, in the very beginning, when they invaded, right, I was the first person to say, wow, Russia's going to steamroll them, because I think of the Red Army in World War II, how they essentially just, I don't know, won World War II. You know, they just kind of went across all of Europe and Asia. But that being said, if you, okay. He held on for so long with very little resources. So big ups for that. At the same time, it's at a point now where the pressure is getting more and more and more. You know, China's helping out Russia, and you have, I've covered this before, that you have all these airstrips that America is opening up because of China and this threat from China, or well, no direct threat. I don't know if anybody has seen that video where China is essentially showing what looks to be Guam, the base, the army base, and they're dropping bombs on it with their missiles or whatever. So you have all these threats, and now that China's involved with Russia, are we prepared to stick up for Ukraine and then feel the wrath of Russia and China? Because that means no more Shein. That means, you know, because I know a lot of you guys are buying the lingeries. No more Sheins, no more Temus, no more, your tariffs are going to go up. It's going to be a mess. So honestly, I hate to say this, and I'm just saying this, I don't think it's in our best interest to be in this, but if we have to pick a side, I don't think it should be his. That's what I'm saying.
The quickest way, but not all the countries are on this side. I said, okay, if not NATO, nobody is pushing. If not NATO, let's build NATO in Ukraine. That's my position. Europeans are ready to have contingents on our territory, boots on the ground. United States thinks maybe to help, maybe USA backstop, have to be just to guarantee that they are with the Europeans. Look at Europe. It's strong. It became stronger, but they also want to have allies like the United States. That's what I said. I just want to understand what the peace. It's not my question, Brad. This is the question from all our people.
You mentioned when I traveled to the front lines with you last year to see the situation, to mark the anniversary of the war, and this is what you told me back then.
Will Ukrainians survive without Congress support? Of course, but not all of us. It will be tragedy for all of us, not only for Ukraine, not only for Ukrainians, for all Europe. Yeah.
So the question today is, can Ukraine win this war or hold off Russia without continued U.S. support?
It will be difficult for us. That's why I'm here. That's why we speak about the future negotiations. It will be difficult without your support, but we can't lose our values, our people. We can't lose our freedom. So a lot of people, Russians came to our territory, you know it. Russians came to our houses, and everybody saw it, video, images, a lot of things. They killed so many people. Just to forget it, just to say that Putin is a great guy? No, without us. We don't want it. That's why we speak about, you know, everybody remembered how it was the first days of the war, how they came. Nobody wants in Ukraine, yes, of course, nobody will forget it, but nobody wants to have, again, new wave of occupation. That's why when we say, no NATO, what security guarantees can we have? I'm not pushing, we are not pressuring, we're just asking, we're just sharing very clear messages to our friends, to Americans.
Right.
If you stay with us, thank you so much, but let's do the infrastructure of security guarantees.
He still hasn't said thank you to Trump, though. I mean, that first question that he asked.
Let's just share with our people, just with our people, that America, stay with us. That's great. We count on it. But just to share it and to say it, that's all.
How does the war end? How do you get to a deal? You're at a place right now where there is no deal. How do you get it back on track?
I think that Europe is ready for contingents and to help us with financing of big army, such big as we have now. This is our army, is the part of security guarantees. Now we want to find the place for our biggest strategic partner, for the United States, or United States will propose where and how United States will give us security guarantees, what kind of.
So you want us to send American soldiers, right? You want us to send American soldiers to go protect parts of your land that you can't protect yourself. So basically, for people that are in the Army or anybody that knows anybody that's in any of the armed forces, you want us, I just want to make sure I understand this. So you want us to set up a base there that we could be, and like a DMZ in North and South Korea. That's what you want us to do. Right? You would be happy with that. If we said, here is a demilitarized zone and we will station, whatever, 10,000 American soldiers here to stop Russia from coming into Ukraine. That's what you want. So when Trump said that World War III is on the brink, he's not lying. He's 100% accurate. Okay, I don't think that that is a good answer. Again, I'm not a military strategist. I'm just saying I don't think that that's a good answer. Nope.
And what part of volume of security guarantees. And when we will be ready with this, we will come to diplomacy. To diplomacy, yes, with Russians, Europeans, United States, and we. Four of us, I think this is real way. Because with weapon, it's too long, it's not enough. We don't have enough weapon to push them out. And we don't see now, for now, we don't see really big volume of new support from the United States, but with all respect again. So for today, we'll be ready with security guarantee. Really, when I say NATO, it's not about that we are focusing on this word. It's about very understandable infrastructure of security guarantees. And you see that no NATO countries, for today, no NATO countries been under attacks.
Senator Lindsey Graham,
So then join NATO.
Republican from South Carolina. He has been a big proponent of you and of Ukraine, said this today after the meeting.
I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelensky again. He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
So he says you need to consider resigning. Is that on the table?
I don't know if he will be happy after my words. This decision can do only people of Ukraine.
You're not going to step down to do a peace deal?
No, I was always ready. I'm not sure.
Yeah, didn't we see this the other day where he had mentioned that he would step down for a peace deal for Ukrainians? So if that's the argument, right? If Putin says, "Listen, I'll stop. I'm done. I'm good. I just want Zelensky out. That's it. We're good. I'm done. I'll leave." Are you going to do that? And you can't come back. Like, you're done. You actually go to jail in Russia. I don't know. Come to America and go hang out in New Jersey. They'll love you there.
That is a good idea for this such proposals. But anyway, I always said if United States will support NATO, so I think that it's enough for Ukraine. So I think I did all I had to do. And if somebody is not happy with me, okay. But between us, yes, Americans vote for American president. Each European country vote for their president, and only Ukrainian. With all respect to Lindsey, if I can say Lindsey, we know each other, yes, and only Ukrainians.
Democrats
vote for their president.
Democrats have had the opposite reaction to the Oval Office meeting. Democratic Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut posted this: "What just happened in the Oval Office was a planned ambush designed to help a brutal Russian dictator and hurt America's security."
Really? Planned? It was his comment about America being next. That was the comment. That was not planned. If that was planned, that was well executed. I know he did acting before, so maybe. But no, absolutely not. That's what set it off.
Purity. Trump has become Putin's lapdog, and America's global power is hemorrhaging as America sides with dictators over democracy. What an embarrassment. Do you think the confrontation in the Oval Office today was pre-planned, like Senator Murphy suggests?
I don't know.
You don't know? You think maybe?
I don't know. No. I don't. I mean, I don't know about it. I think no. I think it was just a really tough situation because we've been very open, very direct.
What set you off? What made you mad? Because they said your tenor and tone set that.
It's not about mad. It's not, Brad. You see, how to say? When you are in the United States.
I didn't get him being mad. Maybe we watched something different. He didn't really get to speak much. After that American Next comment, he was like 2 words, like you can't debate. That's the end of that. I didn't see any anger at all. I didn't get that at all.
And for example, president or vice president or somebody or senators, it doesn't matter, big politicians, yes, when they, for example, say that Ukraine is almost destroyed, that our soldiers run away, that they are not heroes, that Ukraine lost millions of civilians, that his president is dictator, you know? What is the reaction? It's not about me. The reaction is that where is our friendship between Ukraine and the United States? That's it. This is filling. And that's why I do not want to lose our great partners at the United States. And I just said that it's not the first time. I said it by phone, and we had some other conversations, and we had in Munich meetings, and I said, please, be correct. Just, I want to be very polite. I mean this, be correct with this number. When you say about the number, each person is important. When you say about 1 million of losses, we don't have any million of losses. Just when you speak about the territories, maybe some territories and etc., it's not just territory, it's houses. It's people's lives.
Oh, you know, territory.
Their fathers, mother, their relatives, grandfather, they died or during this war. Nobody wants to forgive Putin. It's not funny, you know, or fairy tale. This is real life. That's right. What I said. And when you said it, a lot of times to my big friends who've been here today in our dialogue, and then they again begin to repeat the same things, I think it's not, I mean, that's why I said it's not good way between partners, good partners and friends. That's it. And I think that if journalists asking questions to president, with all respect to vice president, I mean, he has his interview.
Mr. President, shouldn't this dynamic, if you're going to be like this, be behind closed doors, not?
Of course. And not,
so do you regret that? Are you regretting that happened today?
Regretting? Yes, I think it was not good. I think it was not good because we had a lot of different dialogues. I'm always open to media, but there are very sensitive things. I just want to be honest, and I just want our partners to understand the situation correctly, and I want to understand everything correctly. That's about us. Not to lose our friendship.
A couple more things. What are the next steps in your mind? Here we are today.
Yeah.
What are the next steps?
I think so. United States wanted this deal very much, and we've been not against this deal, but we wanted to understand what part in security guarantees will take this deal and what next steps. Just again to understand for our people. During the war, what you don't like, even sometimes hate, surprises. It's understandable. Many terrible things this war brought to us. So we don't want any surprises. Yes, that's why we want to be very fair with our partners. And I think this deal, it was prepared by...
My question is how much does America actually help Ukraine? We went over the numbers the other day, $105 billion. I get all that. I'm saying physical, right now, what like, what percentage would America be helping Ukraine? Is it 60%? Is it 70%? And then let's just say 30, 40 is the rest of Europe. What is the percentage that America is helping physically on the ground with missiles in the air, ships, whatever? How much is America helping? I think that's the better question.
Teams, it was not simple during weeks, and now it's ready. I think that they have to sign. The countries have to sign. The ministers have to sign. That's it. I don't know when they will do it. It depends on the American side.
So
exactly.
the minerals deal did not have security guarantees listed in it.
It's a part.
The security guarantees?
This is the part in the infrastructure of security guarantees. Because, for example, President Trump said that I think so that if we will be there in some productions and etc. in minerals, that Putin will never come on this territory where we are. And I said to him, don't trust Putin. Why? I said, because it's not, I mean, we respect and we believe in strongness of the United States, but I said to him that we had more than 20 companies, American companies, big companies on the territory of Ukraine. And we had offices, even on temporarily occupied territories. For Putin, it doesn't matter. It's American, European company or Ukraine, it doesn't matter. He just came and occupied it. That's what I said. I think this is a great idea, how to strengthen Ukraine and how to make business between two countries, how to make additional jobs for two countries. But it's not just these will not save us.
I read what the Democratic senator said, that Trump has become Putin's lapdog. Do you agree with that President Trump is too close to Vladimir Putin in your mind?
We spoke about it, and I think today very openly President Trump, he said that I want to be in the middle, otherwise I will not put these guys at the table.
And is he right?
I want really, I want to be very honest, I want really him to be more at our side. I will explain
there
why.
It is.
Because it's not just that the war began somewhere between our countries. The war began when Russia brought this war to our country, and they are not right. And they are not right. They didn't respect our territorial integrity. They brought the war on our territory to our families. Sorry for repeating, to our houses. And they are not right. And of course, all the Ukrainians want to hear strong position of the United States on our side. From one side, it's understandable. From another side, he wants to find some way of dialogue with Putin. But he always said, as I remember, he always said that peace through strength. And that's why I think that he's strong, United States strong, two parties together in this question, two parties always together against Russia. You're very strong to do strong steps against Putin.
Americans are worried about where the money has gone.
Yeah.
Will there be a very rigorous accounting of where the money has gone? It seems like there is some question about whether there's corruption or sold military equipment.
No, it can't be so. 100 billions we've got during 3 years.
183 from the U.S.
Now, on the paper, in the documents, yes. But we have, in fact, because 67 came like a weapon. It came through the border. It's checked and it's fixed by everybody, and we shared it not once with the American side. And 31.5, it was direct financial support to the budget. Again.
See, that's where I'm getting my number from, because I saw an interview where they were actually like pulling up receipts, like written in Ukrainian or whatever it is, whatever their language, whatever, it doesn't matter. And it only showed 106 billion. And I remember reading up about this, about the Congress allotting 105, but it went up to 117. So like that number right there. So what's the truth? When you hear people saying 183 billion, this goes into that whole Trump thing with finding, the debt with Elon Musk. But that's a good point. So you're saying that you only got 100 billion. You didn't get 130 or 180. Okay, and you have proof of this. Yes, of course. I guess the counter argument to that would be is now America needs to show the proof. Whoever is saying that 180, show where you got that number from, and then let's compare those numbers. Because that's a big difference, right? 100 and, what do you say, 67 plus 31? So, okay, it's not 180. I can tell you that much. It's not that. There's a lot of missing billions there.
And it's very open, it's digitalized, it's open, free, and please, if somebody wants to check it again, we are very, very open with this.
Last thing, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Do you think your relationship with Donald Trump, President Trump, after today, can be salvaged?
Can be? Yes, of course, because it's relations more than two presidents. It's the historical relations, strong relations between our people. And that's why I always began with to thank your people, from our people. And this is the most important. And of course, thankful to President and of course to Congress, but first of all to your people. Your people help to save our people. People, the first. Human rights, the first. This is very, very important. And we are thankful and sorry for this. I mean, we wanted very much to have only strong relations, and I very count that we will have it.
Mr. President, we're honored that you kept this interview. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow, interesting. All right, so we'll see where we go from here. I'm sure I'll have more updates tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Outside of Society. We'll be on this channel, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this. Everybody stay beautiful. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We had a pretty big turnout today. Whew, Jesus.